got a UFO sighting you want to report, new information that's coming in regards to the alien UFO phenomenon, we're taking your calls right here at 347-934-0378, and we're live taking your calls from around the world. Area code 213, I think calling from Los Angeles. Vince Pounds is with us right now, Third Phase. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome to L.A., too.
Absolutely. We're here in Hawaii. We just got back from an incredible shoot we just did with the Weather Channel that's going to be broadcasting in April in regards to Tornado Alley. And they flew their whole crew down here to interview the Cousins brothers, Third Phase of Moon, to get their reaction of what these strange lights are next to these tornadoes and what we found out and what happened during the couple days that we shot with the Weather Channel. Is absolutely incredible. It's going to be out in April, and we're going to be keeping everybody updated when that world premiere is going to be happening with the Cousins brothers on location with the Weather Channel discussing weather phenomenon and Tornado Alley. Vince, before we get into some of the reason why you called in tonight, I just wanted to ask you a theory of why do you think there's a lot of UFO sightings before, during, and after major hurricanes, weather, storm patterns, and also tornadoes?
I think two reasons. One is to study them, and number two is to protect humanity. So I believe that the increase in presence, an obvious presence, because it's going to be obvious that you're going to need larger ships to deal with these weather patterns. It's just dealing with weather pressures and, systems of different elements, water and different elements in the air. So I'm pretty sure they need larger ships, which right now we're pretty much aware of their presence. So they're going to meet us halfway and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And we're pretty much going to be on the sideline rooting them on and saying, hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for what you're doing.
Well, Vince, I think you pretty much nailed it on the head on the 2 points. The discussions went around the round table. We had a special guest on a radio show while the Weather Channel was filming, Stan T. Friedman, and we're not going to give away too much of what he said, but basically you're pretty much right on track about what what the aliens are doing, looking and observing, and also possibly harvesting. We think maybe the energy from these things. Vince, why did you? What brings you here on Third Phase of Moon? You got something you want to report to the people listening and the viewers around the world right here on Third Phase of Moon Radio and then YouTube?
Yes, I do. It was what has been capturing my eye in the western skies. I guess for several months now. Just as the sun reaches its sunset, we in the western hemisphere over here in Los Angeles and the West Coast have a good observation of a bright star in the sky. Now, this bright star in our sky, I'm going to tell you guys tonight, it is not what you think it is. It is not a planet. It's not Jupiter. It's not a distant star that happens to be the brightest star, distant next galaxy or whatever. I decided to do something
unusual. What do you think it is?
Well, I have several snapshots of it, very close, and I did an experiment. What I did was, and this is what I'm going to suggest everybody, and we'll probably get a lot of either shots or even film footage sent to Third Phase based on this. Take any nice, good-sized binoculars, the larger ones. They could be night scope if you want, and very carefully apply them to a nice, good resolution camera, video footage, and hold your hand as steady as possible. You can tape it to it if you want, like get nice and sturdy on there, and keep it stationary on a tripod. And then slowly zoom closer and closer to it, and just let the camera just sit there on it. And you'll recognize...
We need to, what direction, let's just say if you're in Los Angeles area, what direction should you look at? Point your station mount telescope, binoculars, high telephoto lens. Where do they point, in what direction, and at what time of day?
Okay, I would say right now at this time, daylight saving time, I would say starting around 6 p.m., ongoing to approximately around 7:40, 7:45, when it starts pretty much hitting the horizon past the Pacific. You probably see it there in Hawaii now. I'm not sure, but it starts losing its visual over the horizon, and you can't see it pretty much on a cloudy day, not at all. But it's very bright. It's the only brightest star up there. Now, we will sit there every day and be told by whatever our false illusion astronomers that it's just Jupiter, etc. Zoom in on it, and you'll see it is a large circular mothership. I kid you not. I finally decided to take footage of it and zoom in on it, but using the binoculars gave me a higher resolution than just using the actual video camera. The video camera is like trying to get a focus on a street light that's out of focus. It's as close as I can get in visual I can get just with the video camera itself. When I applied the binoculars, which has a high resolution to it, clear as a bell, there it was. A crispy mothership. You could see details, but it still has that slight faint, but it's a lot extremely quality than just a buzzing light in front of you. And it's extraordinary. I took several shots of it. As I zoomed in, I took a shot, and as I got closer, I took another shot. Well, actually, I was videotaping, and my camera actually takes snapshots of each individual frame. So the frames are amazing. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to send those to you, Blake, I guess soon as after the show's up. And if you want, you could put them as a part of this radio show on YouTube. Okay?
Absolutely. We'd love to take a look at your footage that you captured. Let me tell you, so you're saying right now, how long is this celestial entity that you're looking at right now? How long have you been observing this? Have you checked out the celestial maps to, decipher whether it is Jupiter? Is it not supposed to be where this celestial anomaly is in the sky? And what do you think?
Well, for one thing, the moon is out tonight. So looking at my binoculars, I can see the moon as if though it's like a high resolution photograph in front of me. It's so detailed, okay, with the binoculars. And looking at this object with the binoculars, it's still distant. But applying it with the lens of my actual camera, and the camera I have is a Canon, okay, digital video. And what's the zoom on this? It's a 440 zoom. And applying the two lens, the high resolution binocular lens with the camera lens, the binocular lens makes the camera lens even more crispier and more detailed. And it's not a planet whatsoever. You'll see. It's amazing. It's 100% a ship sitting right there in our atmosphere. And what it's doing is reflecting the sun's light, just like the moon is. There's no casted EMP around it or a field. It's just sitting there, just high in our atmosphere, and reflecting off the sun's light right off the horizon, from the horizon.
So with it being in the atmosphere, how large would you say this object is? And millions of people could witness this pretty much on a daily basis right now and start wondering and pointing in the sky and asking the big question?
Correct. And just the closer and the higher resolution you get, the more detail you get, and the more convinced you will understand that, okay, this is in our sky. Now what do we do? It's that simple. And no, you don't see, it's not a round object, looks like a planet. No, it's a disk. It has literally, you're looking at the bottom of it. You can see literally the bottom of this craft, and you can see detailed mechanical machinery underneath it. And giving it a distance where it is, I can't recall it. It's got to be something, I can't say the size of it because, it sits somewhere between our atmosphere and outer space. So it's somewhere in the stratosphere, and it sits alone up there. And what could I say? It's this, you can see the details of this. It's mechanical, and it's a disk. No doubt.
We're, Vince, we're going to take your word for what it is, and we're going to look at your photos, and we're going to ask everybody that is listening to this right now to, keep this knowledge and maybe for yourself investigate what's going on, because you're the first that's reporting this. In my opinion, if what you're saying is reality, I think Third Phase Moon would be kind of getting a lot of emails and, comments in regards to this anomaly that's happening right now. Maybe Vince, myself, I witnessed this comet in the sky. Well, we didn't know it was a comet, but I said, hey, this is a comet because I've seen Halley's Comet. And I said, we're driving and we're like, wow, that is a comet because we've seen this before. 2 days later, Hale-Bopp was released to the public and discovered and announced to the world. So maybe you might be the first one of these observers.
Well, let me explain something to this. Now, I would say, from my observation of it in the western skies, and it sits stationary, and I would say that it's disguising itself as a star, but it's just unusually brighter. Now, if you were anywhere in the eastern United States, anywhere further east, it's going to look further and further in the horizon to you. So I would say if you're in New Mexico or the East Coast, you wouldn't see it at all. It would just be somewhere far off in the western, probably just over the horizons by the distance of 3,000 miles. But here in the west, say the sun is ready to set, and that's when the star literally starts to start bright shining within our night sky. So it's there during the daytime. But as the sun sets, this star sets along with it. This ship sets along with it, but more further and further in the evening time. You understand what I'm saying? So it kind of drags along behind the sun as far as it going over the horizons. So,
I gotcha. The debunkers could come out, and that's one of the biggest debunking skeptic remark is it's a star, and
well, it is a star, but it's just,
but you're saying,
the details of it is a ship.
Those are possibly aliens are cloaking themselves as a disguise to look like a star, straight out of the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when there's a shot that Spielberg captured of the Big Dipper, and I think Richard Dreyfuss is looking at it, or a car drives by and the Big Dipper's there and the stars are stationary. Then all of a sudden the pattern changes and these stars turn into moving vehicles of some sort and drift off. And so basically disguising themselves as the Big Dipper. So what you're saying is we got a UFO over Los Angeles right now disguising itself as a star.
Correct. And I challenge you debunkers, following you seeing these photographs, when you see the photographs, then you get out there, whoever you are, and you make an observation and compare your pictures or video with what you see. And tell me if you are focusing in and zooming in on a planet or a galaxy compared to what your pictures are. This is just, it amazed me tonight. I was very curious about it as the months rolled by, but I decided to add that extra resolution by putting my binoculars in front of my lens of my camera, and it amazed me. So,
well, Vince, I really want to thank you for joining us on this special Third Phase of Moon episode that we just got back with the Weather Channel. Information coming in from Los Angeles. Third Phase of Moon is continuously on the ball in regards to the UFO phenomenon, whether it being a UFO cloaking itself as a star, or tornadoes, magnets for UFOs, all the above. We just want to hear it, and Third Phase of Moon is a place to report it. Vince, again, I want to thank you for joining us right here at Third Phase.
You're welcome.
And if anybody out there has captured anything amazing, we'll be looking over Vince's pictures in a bit and rebroadcasting on YouTube so everybody could take a look at that. And if you've captured anything amazing like Vince, send it to Third Phase via Skype or Facebook. Everybody keep their eyes on the skies, and we'll see everybody again next time.